and they put them in a container. They don't really manipulate them as we do today. It very much is just a container for the bees or a beehive. So those clay tubes we saw in the first picture are still used in various parts of the Middle East. I think they're in Egypt. Oh, the mouse. Okay, yeah, no, I use the mouse. Okay. So yes, in the Middle East, in Egypt, and also around, they still use clay pipes. In less warmer climes, they tend to use the straw baskets or the skeps for better insulation. The Romans were very good at making nice little holes for them to live in, shield them from the weather. But really, throughout that time, nothing really changed in how humans kept bees or owned bees. I think the biggest change came when this guy invented the movable frame hive. It wasn't Mr. Langstroth as everybody thinks. However, this was a hive that was never used by beekeepers. It's called a leaf hive, and you can leaf through the frames as you would leaf through the pages in a book. And it wasn't really this hive that led to the invention of the beekeeper, in my opinion. It was the bee biology that this guy discovered as a result of using this observation hive. So he discovered some of the fundamental points of bee biology that us beekeepers exploit today. The fact that the bee mates during a flight, battles between queens, the fact that eggs, if you feed them royal jelly, any egg can turn into a queen bee, the drone cull at the end, even the fact that they use their antennae to communicate. The most fascinating of all for me is that this is basically an observation hive, and he published his results. It's a French title, which a lot more members of the audience would understand better than I do, which basically means new observations on bees. So the new observation of bees was published by a guy who also invented the first observation hive, and he was blind. He couldn't see anything throughout any of these experiments. I suspect he had a team with him, and probably said, hey, what are they doing now a lot? To try and work out what was going on. Then, and round I kind of stole this history line from you a bit. There were the three big inventions that happened in quite quick succession, which led to the honey production on a commercial scale. That's Mr. Langstroth. That's the day that the year he died. And he's often credited with inventing the bee space or the removable frame hive. Well, no, he didn't do that. It was to do with bee spaces, but it's the fact you could stack the boxes up. And if you left a bee space between the frames above and the frames below, you could lift the boxes up. So he was really the first one to come off with a floor and a brood box and honey boxes on top, with the lid on top. You could take the lid off and you could fish the frames out, see what the bees were doing on the frames, and then exercise the bee biology that we now understand better and keep bees in that way. Along with the honey extractor and the smoker all came along together, and that did lead to a step change in the way human beings keep bees and produce honey. When we moved to electronic monitoring, I think this is a great picture. Jerry Brumenschenk in Montana, if anyone hasn't met Jerry, you'll know if you have, you don't really forget when you've met Jerry. And back in the late 90s, he actually set up these smart hives. And if you look at what they did, it's quite incredible. There was a hive scale, brew temperature sensor, there was even a bee counter. But not only that, there was a clock-driven hourly pollen sampler and an air pump contract sampler. I mean, if somebody asked me today, if they said, I'd like to monitor my beehives, I'd probably reply, we're not quite there yet, we're not quite at that level. And obviously, Jerry was doing it at the end of the 90s. If anybody's into hive monitoring, there's the hive monitoring international workshop is being hosted by Jerry this year. I think Malcolm somewhere has cards on telling you more information about that. Not only did Jerry look at this, it was mainly about pollution. He also detected landmines using bees. He basically had these little gadgets which smelled strongly of landmines. It fed the bees, so you get the bees used to the sense, the reward of the food for the smell of landmines. Then you'd shut the feeder, and the bees would go off and find something else that smelled like a landmine, and the idea being that with IDVD, a real landmine, and then you know where that was. So, yeah, he did some crazy stuff quite early on, Jerry. There's also Dr. Wayne Science, I can't pronounce his name very well. Basically, I love this picture of his house scale. He set up a network of house scales. He was a professor of entomology at the University of Maryland. He also worked for NASA. So right in the 90s, he managed to mix the pictures of the Earth, this is before Google Earth, and this is the NASA pictures of the Earth. He had a high-scale network, and to cut a long story short, he was basically looking at global warming, and he managed to, by taking hive weights, mixing them in with these aerial pictures, he did manage to observe global warming. Once he finished his experiments, he handed his network of hives over to the Bee Informed Partnership, which still run a large hive network today. In fact, if you buy a set of hive scales, more often than not, there's a particular little box to share with Bee Informed. So there's the original hive scales from Wayne Plus, or all the other scales people are buying and using now. So if the world is our coal mine, then bees are canaries. What I mean by that is bees can be used as like a sentinel in our environment. All these, looking for landmines, looking for pollution, looking for global warming, we're using the bees as an indicator species. We're not really monitoring what the bees are doing to find out what the bees themselves are doing, nor is the information we're taking from that monitoring any use to sort of beekeepers. So it was all sort of military sponsored or academic sponsored or NASA sponsored, it was all well invested, but it didn't really involve beekeepers in any way. So what happened, gone the wrong way. So what happened back in about 2009, it became Hive Tracks. Hive Tracks was a way of logging. It was instead of hive record logging, so instead of writing down what was happening in your hive, you could sort of log into it, a much better record keeping system. And that was the beekeepers. It was just the normal beekeepers, so we were using technology to actually help beekeepers. At the same time, me and my wife, this is a story I've probably told too often, but if people haven't heard it, I was doing some swarm inspections on my bees, just as an amateur beekeeper. I was shaking the bees off each frame. The bees weren't enjoying it, I certainly wasn't enjoying it. I got stung a lot. I came home to my wife and I said, I love beekeeping. It's a beautiful mix between the science and the craft, but what I've just done felt wrong. And surely, in this day and age of technology, where a surgeon can replace a valve in your heart via a vein in your leg, there must be a way of finding out what's going on in a beehive without completely taking it to bits. So we set up a company called Arnia, and we started looking into that concept. This is back in 2009. The hive tech at the time was a little bit ugly, the sort of stuff that the scientists were using. It wasn't the sort of thing you'd want to put under your cherished beehive in the back of your garden. It was all a bit ugly, so we like to feel we came up with some quite cool hive tech. There are scales from back then. They came in various colours, they were very robust, had a nice big hole in the middle to allow debris to drop through and the hives to ventilate. We thought they were really cool. I think most of all we liked our user interface because it was quite intuitive. That certainly wasn't supplied by the early hive monitoring systems, but I mean, just to be able to get data is enough. You need to convey that to the people using the equipment in an intuitive way. Our user interface, I mean, that was the secret to our success. When I say success, it depends how you rate success. Financially, Arnie was never particularly successful. We used to produce equipment that cost slightly more than beekeepers were willing to pay for it. And if there's any businessmen in the audience, you can see there's a fundamental problem with that business deal. But we did end up monitoring hundreds of hives in 30 countries. We came up with a lot of breakthroughs in what you can find out, what you can tell beekeepers and scientists from hive monitoring. So from that perspective, we were very much a success. Modern day user interface hasn't changed much. Very briefly, each hive icon is a monitored hive. Here are the sensors on each hive. So at a glance, you can see what's happening with each hive. A bunch of bees above the hive is how busy the hive is. We've got today's temperature, we've got what it has been and what it will be, it's forecasted. And so just by glancing at this, we like to think of it as like a virtual apiary. So just at glancing at this, you can see what's going on with all your hives without having to travel to the apiary and open them up. It doesn't stop whether having to go to the apiary, but it lessens it. One thing we introduced was interpretation. So rather than just displaying data values as we did in the old days, we interpret that. So brood temperature is a good example. If your brood temperature is around 34 degrees, then what that means is you've got brood in your hive. Brood Minder picked up on this. In fact, they were very good at minimizing the cost of the hive tech and providing you with a lot of information. If you're queen right, I know when I'm looking at my hive, and they've got 3 honey boxes on, and I lift the boxes off, and the bees are already going crazy, and I'm already hot and sweaty, and there's this queen excluder all covered in brace comb, and the thought of peeling that back and going through the brood. All I want to know is I've got a queen. So if I've got a little cheap sensor to tell me I've got a queen, saves me having to do that. I can go and have a queen when the honey's off, and it's better. But this interpretation is an interpretation there. There's a lot of high monitors these days, and there's a lot of interpretation, and it has sort of brought in the element of smoke and mirrors, where if it's over-interpreted, you can't really tell if what it's telling you is really what's going on. But this is just basic interpretation, and so this is our virtual apiary, and at a glance we can see what our hives are doing. Oh, this one. Okay, very briefly. So the hives, if you click on a sensor, the drawers open, shows you what's been happening historically. There's also a map view if you've got multiple sites, change colours depending on what's happening on site. There's a way of editing inspections, obviously it works on mobile as well. So what does electronic monitor bring the amateur beekeeper? This is my son when he was 4 years old. I'd love to tell you now that he now runs our beekeeping operation. Truth is, I don't think he's touched a smoker since that day. In fact, none of our children have really embraced beekeeping. I'm not really sure what we did wrong there. But so what it brings an amateur beekeeper? I mean, without wanting to read through the whole list, obviously, if the hive's stolen or fallen over, you can get immediate alerts about that. These are real alerts. There's no smoke or mirrors here. These are genuine things. I promise you, electronic hive monitor can offer you reliably, and has been done for years. When to have a super, I don't think many people relate to when you lift up your crown hole, you see that white brace comb, and you think, drat, you know, if only I could put a honey box on a few days earlier, I could have made another hot box of honey. If you're then looking down a long line of hives, that feeling just gets worse. So that's a very useful one. Obviously, Connie's queen, as we've discussed, mating flights I'll talk about. Hands ventilating in the winter if it's condensation. Feed management. Sometimes you go to feed your bees and you get to there, you open the lid and there's that empty bag with the bees walking around inside and you think, I wish I got here a week earlier. Then you think I better check the other side, you go to the other side, still got half it left, and you think, oh, I should have done that the other way around. So you can tell remotely how your bees are going through their food. That's very useful. Asian hornet, we found a unique signature for the Asian hornet. We can even distinguish between Asian hornets and European hornets now. Obviously systems are like low batches. But the favourite one is the bees have collected a lot of honey that day. It's a daily honey report, if you like. It has no managerial consequences. It's just nice to know how well the bees are doing. Wrong one. So the features again, we'll go through those in the following slide. Basically, you can compare hive on hive, site on site, year on year. Let's look at some actual data. So here we see hive weights across a year. Here we can see the build-up in the spring. Then we see the nectar flow starts. We get a very strong flow of acacia honey. In fact, here it's, let's call it 40 to 110. Yes, it's got 50 kilos of honey on that one hive. Flattens off, and then you see the big steps as people remove the supers. You can see somebody removing a super from the year before. Then we're getting to the end of the fall or autumn, and the weight begins to drop. We're lucky enough to have an ivy crop then, which sort of feeds our bees for the winter, so we see this increase. And then we have the winter, and we can tell the winter by this slow decrease in weight as the bees sort of go through their stores. And I always like to think of the gradient of this winter decline, if you like, being useful from the respect of monitoring what you could call the metabolism of the bees. Mating flight, using acoustics, we can now reliably see when the queen goes on the mating flight. You can then triangulate that with, overlay the weather conditions when she went on a flight. It doesn't really matter at the time, but now queen failure later on. The ability to go back and see if your queen's mating in good weather or bad weather is relatively useful. As an amateur beekeeper, it's great to know your queen's gone on a mating flight. So what does electronic monitoring mean as a scientist? I mean, another long list here. I don't really want to read all the way through. I mean, basically it's more consistent data, reliable, taken at high resolution. The highest rate I've measured data is about twice a second for several hours. You can do it simultaneously. We're going to look at that on the next slide. It's not intrusive. It minimizes the observer effect. You can increase the beekeeper or the experiment that you're running. Good data management, obviously, weather conditions. Scalable and attractive to beekeepers, so you can ramp the size of experiments up and help recruit and beekeepers who are involved in it because they get something out of it too. Very quickly here we have weight measurement. We see the weight go down. This is quite an accurate set scale, so we can see the green line going down. This is flight noise, the blue line, so as the bees fly out, we see the weight go down as the foraging falls leaves. So here over several days, the flight profile in this day is quite normal. You see a lot of flight in the morning, then they seem to come back for lunch, and then they go back out in the afternoon. And that's when it gets very hot. They tend to take the midday off. But what's interesting is simultaneous data measurement. If you're doing a strength assessment manually as a scientist, I mean, there's only like 45 minutes between most of your foraging force being in the field and them all coming back because it's too hot. If you're evaluating 10 hives, by the time you get to hive number 10, pretty much all your foraging force is back in the hive, where when you did hive number 1, it was all out in the field. So unless you do this simultaneously, which is virtually impossible unless you've got 10 students to do 10 hives, it can be very misleading. Yeah, this is one of my greatest hits. I've maybe shown this slide too much, but I can't assume that everybody in the audience does follow me around for the past 8 years watching all my presentations, so I thought I'd put it in. Basically, we're doing quite a large experiment on pesticide use in Europe. It was about 75 hives in 5 countries. One of the beekeepers involved in the trial had moved his bees. He'd opened the bees. They all came flying out, apart from one colony, there was a big pile of dead bees. So he got in touch and he said, "Oh, I've just opened the hive, there's a big pile of dead bees in the bottom of it. I don't know when it happened, or where it happened, or why it happened." So we looked at the data. Straight away, if we look at the root temperature, we can see that they were nice and happy up until this point in time, at which point it rose to 46 degrees. The bees, which is where the bees die, which is then it when it drops down and starts following out. So straight away, we know exactly when his bees died, and then he knew exactly where he was when his bees died. It was like 10:30 on a Saturday morning, and he was 2 miles south of Junction 6 on the M1 motorway. But why did they die? So then we overlaid the acoustics, and straight away we could see that the bees had gone crazy ventilating. So basically it's a badly ventilated hive. They begin to get too warm, so they start ventilating to cool themselves down. Because it's the badly ventilated, that just results in them getting warmer, so they ventilate harder, and it's a rather distressing positive feedback loop where they just end up killing themselves. So that example shows very much one of the key benefits to electronic hive monitoring. It gives you an audit log of what happened before colonies died. I know that colony collapse, as it was called. The big thing was everybody just found dead colonies, and I had no idea how they ended up dead. They had no record of what happened before that. But that's very much like a flight recorder on an aeroplane for explaining what went wrong. Commercial beekeeping. What does electronic hive monitoring or technology and innovation bring to commercial beekeepers? Well, my most interesting story about honey production is in New Zealand, where they pay a lot for Manuka honey. The Manuka honey lives in the middle of nowhere, so there's no roads and no cell coverage. They have helicopters to take their bees to the middle of nowhere, and we have to design some satellite system to transmit the data from there. Traditionally, they take the bees out in the middle of December, and they pick them up at the beginning of January. They just do it by calendar. That's what they've done every year. But obviously now they have remote weight monitoring, and they could see when they usually go up and pick up their bees, the bees were still increasing in weight. So they left them and left them and left them until the weight leveled off. And they ended up being 2 weeks longer than they normally would. And if you work out the additional honey they collected just in that period, they earned an additional 43,000 New Zealand dollars just from that one informed management decision, from having those remote weight measurements. Which makes you wonder why they complained about the cost of the equipment when they were buying it. That's another story. Then there's pollination. That's one way to do it. This is a way that people are probably more used to seeing in this room. So say you take pollination, and say you mix in, what's my time by the way? Oh, 8 minutes, okay. So say you take pollination, you mix in with that innovation and technology, and you end up with precision pollination. So what is cool about precision pollination? Is it because it increases the profits of American farmers? It's kind of cool for them, but it's not as cool to me. I don't have a problem with it, but it doesn't make it cool. What I find it cool is it enables more efficient use of existing farmland. So let me jump to one of Randy's slides that I took, and basically this was an argument that pesticides could be seen as a necessary evil. Basically, the amount of land, additional land needed to feed and clothe the expanding human population, you need to find it. There's no land lying around doing nothing, so what do you do to tackle this problem? You either start culling the human race, or you start eating into more rainforest, or you use the land that you already have more efficiently. And what it makes this potentially cycle is if better pollination can increase in better yields, do we still need pesticides? I mean, what I'm saying is, if we get more work, precision pollination gives beekeepers more work and increases their revenue, and it does lead to less use of pesticides because you're increasing the yield, and so you can compensate for losses due to a lack of use of pesticides. That would be quite exciting, and that is relatively cool. So, BeHero are a company that do precision pollination. I have a conflict of interest here. I now do work with BeHero. And basically they were founded by commercial beekeepers and data scientists. They developed a system of precision pollination. You can see lots of tricks outside these hives, and they used this in a sunflower crop. Basically they had a sunflower field with normal beehives in it, and they had a field with normal beehives and electronics and precision pollination, and they got a 20% additional yield in the yield from the sunflowers as a result. So the secret to their success seems to lie down to the system the way they do it. This little gizmo monitors, it has about 10 sensors on it, and it lives inside the slide, and it sends back a lot of data in real time, which feeds these machine learning algorithms, and these machine learning algorithms crunch through this data and come up with very sophisticated results. The secret to success is that the more data you feed the algorithms, the better they get. The more you can train them, the better you get. And BeHero has about 20,000 of these little gizmos, which gives their algorithms amazing potential. So why do you need such big data? As Wetmore said, these do nothing invariably. William, who's giving a talk tomorrow, I think, or on Thursday, as he puts it, bees, it's like living cats. Basically, bees are not always consistent. That's a trouble scientists have always had. You've got a bunch of bees in a control, a bunch of bees in a treatment, but there's such variability between the bees anyway. You can't see anything significant. So what you need is a large data set to buffer that variance. So okay, so we can mix in technology and innovation with bees and increase the yield of a crop that's pollinated by bees. The fun comes when you try it with a crop that isn't traditionally pollinated by bees. So here is soy. This is Annie D here. She's a soy grower. You can bring bees to soy. See, but soy do not need bees. They self-pollinate. So why bring bees then? Well, canola also self-pollinates, but you do get better yields and better quality of oil if you bring bees to them. So the question is, can bees help? Well, it's been done quite a lot, but the increases in yield aren't great. They're kind of 5% in America, sometimes 10%. It's really not worth the effort. So the question is, what if we mix the technology innovation in with those bees and take it to the soil? Would that actually improve in how it works? And what we're doing here is expanding the market for pollinating commercial beekeepers. We're finding new markets for them to pollinate. So, So we had two fields, a treatment field with precision pollination, a standard field which just grows soy as it normally does. Basically, we can see the fitness of each hive on site. Fitness is a kind of weird mix of strength and health, if you look at it that way. Both of those are made up from all sorts of things. Algorithms, feeding algorithms, it's all a little bit crazy. But basically, we can see the fitness of each hive. We can average out to the fitness of each pallet, and then we can average all the pallets together to give an average of the fitness of the pollination force on each day of those experiments. The standard deviation bar show the consistency from day to day between the hives on site. If we mix that in with activity and then combine it with things like nectar availability and weather, we get a good figure for the pollination quality of each day. How well is the field being pollinated each day? So no prizes for guessing where the 4 pallets of bees were positioned, and I think that's 5 days later, 10 days later, 15 days later, and that's the pollination results of the field. It was a scientific trial. We followed scientific protocols. We took 10 plots in the field, took 10 plants from the 10 plots, and took the average of it all. That's Annie D there, Zitai. He's one of the founders of BeHero. His father's the largest commercial beekeeper in Israel, and this is Annie D, the farmer. She was involved with all the counting. She oversaw everything. Everything was done particularly transparently. There's one of those horrible slides that people show at these things, and it's basically, all the pod counts on the control field and the normal field. I mean, the interesting numbers, I guess, is the average pod count for Annie was 92 with the precision pollination, and it was only 57 in the, let me move to a better slide. There you go. So there's the results from the trial. The overall increase in pod count was 60% more for Annie D. What I mean by that is in the control field it was 100 pods, in the treatment field it was 160 pods. for example, and Buster did much better. He was over in Mississippi, and for 100 in the control field, there was 105 pods, sorry, 205 pods in the treatment field. So that's a really good result. Now, how many of those cling on until the combine harvester goes in? That's really in the hands of the environmentalists there. But we can manipulate those. So even if we lost half of that, it would still be a very, very good result. There's Annie with all the pods. So what does the future hold? I'm going to do this very quickly. If you've got a big data set, you can work out what is normal. You can have what I call an index of normality. So when you're doing any sort of test on your bees, you can decide what parameter I want to decide, is it normal? In this maybe brew temperature, you need to make a curve using filters, a normal distribution curve to reflect your hives, whether it be the size of them, the type of colony, the same sort of weather conditions, and then you can see from normality where your hives fit into that. Okay? Oh, flow, very quickly. We can't talk about innovation without talking about the flow hive. There's my flow hive, there's Stuart invented the flow hive, might even be in the audience. And the way the flow hive works is you sort of put in a key and turn the key and the cells kind of sink and all the honey sort of flows out the back. It's quite cool. Maybe it's a gimmick, some people see it as a gimmick, maybe it's quite a cool gimmick, maybe it's a gimmick, but I'm interested in the quality of honey. They have a poster, a lot of people claim that pressed honey from honeycomb has a better quality than extracted. The extraction process is quite violent, there's a lot of oxidation goes on. Is it really better? I know they've done some tests on this, and there's a poster to show the results. Mine also, I made it a smart stand, so I could monitor its weight and things, but I did think it was quite pretty high, so that is actually monitored high, but it doesn't look too bad. There you go. I didn't shoot over too much at all.